Right, back again. It is day 17 of NaNoWriMo. I am so fucking far behind. Basically, I need to write 2,000 words today and 2,000 words tomorrow in order so that I can only be 1,300 words behind. So my current word count is... where am I? My current word count is 24,668. I don't know, halfway mark, fucking halfway burnout. So I haven't bothered posting some of the other videos that I've been making over the past few days, just because they've all been the videos haven't been interesting. It's just been a struggle, you know, barely making word count and all that kind of stuff. Just sort of clawing with my fingertips, trying to stay on this train. But yeah, I reckon 2,000. You know, my answer isn't, all I need to do is write 3,000 words tomorrow, 3,000 words today, and I'll be back on track, because I know that's just I'm not capable. I've been watching some of these YouTube videos with this this YouTube chick who's doing NaNoWriMo as well, and like on the first day it's like, I did 5,000 words today, and then the next day I did another 2,500. I'm not going to bother writing tomorrow because, you know, got shit to do. And the next day it's like, another 2,000 words. This is so easy. And it was not helpful. I was like, Christ, this is what everybody's like? Is nobody struggling like I am? But then, yeah, the next day she wrote like 65. I was like, yeah, that's right. That's how it goes. So that was sort of the bit that helped inspire me. The fact that the burnout is real. It's not just me. But like I say, 2,000 words today, 2,000 words tomorrow. And then I feel like I can slowly catch up with the rest. A little bit more each day, and I still think I can crack this nut, because the story isn't going badly. It's sort of having a hard time, you know, I don't know, following some of these twists and turns, but things seem to be developing organically, and the ideas that I'm coming up with make sense without being horribly contradictory. And I feel like, the story's going to come together ultimately, and it's going to be a sort of a fun story, fun, easy story. Right now, where am I? So 2,000 words today. I reckon I'll write 1,000 words, which I've worked out. 1,000 words is basically 2 pages, a little bit more than 2 pages. So 4 pages today. So basically, my idea is to write 2 pages now. I'll go and do my weekly shop, come back, another 2 pages, and then start the thing that can really send this train off its rails. Is I just bought Red Dead Redemption 2, which was stupid. So I'm going to be playing that later. But I have to write my 2,000 words today and tomorrow to earn the right to play. At least that's plan for now. Nina made her way to her usual corner, expecting and finding Dee already there, sitting a little straighter than usual, but otherwise looking the same as ever. He acknowledged her arrival with the slightest incline of his head before clicking his fingers at one of the girls in one of the chairs opposite him. All 3 turned their heads to see Nina standing there, and all 3 scattered. The ones on the seat to either side of Dee stayed, but even they straightened up a little. The surrounding men did too, just a little. As with everywhere else in this town, Dee's little white friend was a known entity. I also reached the point in the story where insinuated a few things, some questioning by the characters, which have insinuated that there's more going on, which in the story, like there's more to this opening murder than has originally has been professed by the people behind it. Yeah, it's unplanned stuff that I hadn't come up with. But just them asking these questions has made me go, oh, that's an interesting question. And as such, I feel like there's a potential mystery bubbling beneath the surface. And I think, okay, well, maybe such and such has actually got a hidden agenda and is, screwing his comrades and all this kind of stuff. So, and here I am having the other characters, other bad guys, the underlings going, do you think that maybe there's more to the story than we thought? Because Morgan sort of brought something to their attention that they hadn't considered, and now that it's on Nina's mind, she's like, do you think that's something's going on there? And I don't know what the fuck is going on there. I haven't come up with anything, but apparently something's going on there. So I think I'm reaching the point in the story, which I suppose it's probably about I had written about 10,000 words before I started NaNoWriMo, so it's what, 35,000 words in, so it's about organically it feels about, it's it's more than a third of the way into the story, so yeah, almost the halfway point. So I don't see this being a particularly long novel, probably about 80 to 90,000 words long. I don't want it to be longer than 100,000 words because it's just not that kind of book. So right about now is when I have to start figuring some shit out. So I might actually have to do some, outside of my actual writing, I might actually have to do some planning and stuff, which I don't want to do too much of. This book, for this NaNoWriMo, I want to be, I want to pants this motherfucker. It just feels like that's actually the best policy for this book. Interesting. Okay, I haven't figured it out, but I've kind of figured out what the right questions are. So it'll keep for now, and I'll just let the idea sort of fester in the back of my mind, and eventually it'll. My mind will work on it in the background, and it'll sort of, the answer will eventually make itself known. At least that's how I roll. I feel like the right questions are there, so it's satisfying to carry on sort of with my cryptic. Ooh, what's going on there? Interesting. For the characters to ask and investigate, and eventually I'll have an answer. I'll have an answer for them. Right. I had to press record again. Another issue that I was dealing with. Oh, fuck's sake. Sorry. Oh. Another issue I was dealing with was a problem to do with how to keep the relationship relevant between Nina, the sort of primary henchman, I guess you'd call her, and Morgan. Now that Morgan has sort of served their purpose and lied for them, and so presumably, yeah, their situation is solved. So how can they help each other still? And the answer to that was sort of how do we'll help get you out of this situation. How do you do that? Well, we'll turn you into the cops, because that was something that I had forgotten about. So this murder had happened, left out in the open for the bad guys to discover in order to facilitate their situation, a double cross within the criminal underworld. But it was also left there for the cops to see. And I hadn't figured out how to, I'd forgotten about what the cops would be up to. But I wasn't sure how this solution will turn you into the cops in order to help get you out of this situation, sort of how it helped anybody. How does this benefit anybody other than Morgan? And how do they sort of ensure that Morgan won't turn them in? Once she's achieved this, and I've figured out a solution, which is kind of silly in a fun way, but also I think makes sense. That'll do. It's where am I? So I'm just shy of my goal, 26,664, which is still like 2,000 words. So I got my 2,000 words done today, so that'll do it. Yeah, pretty happy with that.